This is the Dallas Morning News. Under federal law, producers of child exploitation material must pay a minimum of $3,000 in restitution to each of their victims. That would seem stricter than the restitution rules related to child sex trafficking, which also mandates compensation to victims, but with no minimum amount. In reality, the problems that prevent child sex trafficking victims from receiving restitution also persist in child pornography cases. The news found recent local cases involving children 12 or younger. None of those pedophiles was forced to pay restitution, nor was it sought by prosecutors or required by judges. Read the stories in the Abused and Abandoned series now at dallasnews.com/abusedandabandoned. It's Wednesday, June 24th. Another warm one on the way today, a mix of sun and clouds and a high of 96 this afternoon, partly cloudy tonight with a low of 75. Here are today's headlines. Federal judges handed down decades-long prison terms Tuesday for 8 defendants convicted in what prosecutors cast as an antifa terrorist attack last summer on an Immigration and Customs Enforcement detention facility in Alvarado. Benjamin Song, a former U.S. Marine Corps reservist described by prosecutors as the group's ringleader, received the longest sentence, 100 years in federal prison. The other 7 co-defendants received sentences ranging from 30 to 70 years. 8 more are set for sentencing next month. Song was convicted in March of attempted murder after authorities said he opened fire outside the Prairieland Detention Center, wounding an Alvarado police officer. The mixed verdict also convicted 8 others on charges including rioting and using explosives, in this case, fireworks. The prosecution, described by federal officials as the first of its kind against an antifa cell, has become a test case in the Trump administration's effort to treat far-left political violence as domestic terrorism. In other news, a father is accused of fatally shooting his daughter in Parker County Sunday as he attempted to break up a fight between his daughter and her mother. The Parker County Sheriff's Office said deputies responded to a home in Azle after receiving a 911 call about a gunshot victim. 25-year-old Rebecca Bailey Brooks died at the home, according to the Tarrant County Medical Examiner's Office. Deputies said they learned very early in the investigation that Brooks's 61-year-old father was allegedly responsible for the fatal shooting. Deputies determined from statements that Brooks and her mother were in a physical altercation prior to the shooting. Deputies said Brooks's father confessed to getting a handgun, loading it, and chambering a round before attempting to separate the 2 women. While breaking up the fight, deputies said the man's handgun fired and his daughter was struck in the chest. The man was arrested on a first-degree felony murder charge. He is being held at the Parker County Jail, with bail set at $2 million. Next up, a 12-year-old Dallas middle schooler ended up on the streets where a pimp discovered her. For as little as $50, he sold her for sex. A 13-year-old 7th grader was forced to have sex with men in Houston by a pimp who hooked her on drugs. A 17-year-old Lubbock runaway was required to have sex with men in hotels and truck stops until she earned her pimp $1,000 daily. These children have more in common than the abuse they endured and the lifelong trauma that comes with it. Each was mandated by federal law to receive financial compensation from the pimps and pedophiles who abused them. Like the vast majority of survivors of childhood sexual abuse, they never received a dime. A Dallas Morning News investigation reveals that from 2015 to 2024, only 21% of federal child sex trafficking cases nationwide resulted in an order of restitution, and no place in the U.S. has more uncompensated victims than the Dallas-Fort Worth region. Read the stories in the Abused and Abandoned series now at dallasnews.com/abusedandabandoned. And the Texas State Board of Education gave preliminary approval Tuesday to a proposed reading list with Bible materials. The list includes 13 biblical readings with at least one Bible passage or story in every grade except kindergarten. The reading list would be required for Texas public school students starting with the 2030-2031 school year. The debate over the reading list continues a years-long battle over what role religion should have in the classroom. This week, the board is also considering changing social studies standards to emphasize American and Texas history over world cultures and geography. Thanks for listening. For more on today's stories and the latest breaking news, visit dallasnews.com. Enjoy your day, and I'll be back tomorrow with more from the Dallas Morning News.